Let's talk about password cracking, a topic that might sound like something out of a spy movie, but is actually a real threat that affects millions of people every day. Think about how many times you enter a password in a single day. From checking your email in the morning, to logging into your bank account, to scrolling through social media, passwords are the keys to your digital life. But why do experts always insist on strong, unique passwords? Why do websites nag you to add numbers, symbols, and uppercase letters? It's not just to make your life harder, it's to protect you from real dangers lurking online. The answer is password cracking. This isn't just a Hollywood plot device, it's a systematic, relentless process that's become easier and more accessible than ever, thanks to modern technology and the internet. Hackers now use powerful software that can guess millions, even billions, of passwords every second. They don't just try fluffy and fluffy too. They use massive lists of leaked passwords, clever algorithms, and brute force attacks to break into accounts. Understanding how these attacks work is like knowing why a flimsy lock won't keep your bike safe. If you know what you're up against, you can make smarter choices to protect yourself. In this chapter, we'll pull back the curtain on the tools hackers use, like Kali Linux and HashCat. You'll see how these programs work, and more importantly, how you can use this knowledge to build stronger defenses. By the end, you'll be ready to armor up for the digital battlefield, equipped with practical tips and a deeper understanding of how to keep your accounts safe. Let's dive in and take control of your digital security. First up, Kali Linux, the hacker's workshop. Unlike Windows or macOS, Kali is built for security pros, not daily browsing. It's packed with hundreds of pre-installed tools for everything from network analysis to password cracking. Think of it as a master mechanic's toolbox, ready to go out of the box. Kali saves security analysts hours of setup, providing a safe, controlled environment for learning and testing. You can run it in a virtual machine, keeping your main system safe. When we talk about password cracking, Kali is our base of operations. It's the industry standard for both digital locksmiths and burglars. Don't worry, we'll walk through the essentials step by step. Now, let's grab our power tool, HashCat. HashCat is the world's fastest password recovery utility, designed to crack password hashes at lightning speed. It uses your GPU, the same hardware that powers video games, to try billions of password guesses per second. HashCat supports a huge range of hash algorithms, from old MD5 to modern bcrypt. It can run dictionary attacks, brute force, or clever hybrid methods. Security pros use HashCat to test their own systems and enforce stronger password policies. Remember, HashCat is just a tool. Its power depends on how it's used. We'll use it to show just how vulnerable weak passwords really are. So, what's a hash? In the world of computers and cybersecurity, a hash is a special kind of digital fingerprint. It's a way to take any piece of information, like your password, and turn it into a unique, fixed-length string of characters. But what makes hashes so important, especially when it comes to keeping your data safe? When you create a password for a website, the site doesn't just save your password as it is. Instead, it uses a mathematical process called hashing, a one-way function that transforms your password into a completely different string of letters and numbers. This process is designed so that it's easy to go from your password to the hash, but nearly impossible to go backwards. Imagine typing your password into a box, and out comes a scrambled, seemingly random string. That's the hash. No matter how many times you enter the same password, you'll always get the same hash. But even a tiny change in your password will create a completely different hash. Hashes look like gibberish, just a mess of letters and numbers. But here's the key. You can't take a hash and figure out what the original password was. The process only works one way, which is why hashes are so useful for protecting sensitive information. When you log in, the website takes what you type, hashes it using the same method, and then checks if the result matches the hash it has stored. If the two hashes match, the system knows you entered the correct password, without ever needing to know what your actual password is. If the hashes match, you're granted access. If they don't, you're locked out. This way, your real password is never exposed, even to the website itself. Now, if hackers manage to steal a website's database, what they get are just the hashes, not the actual passwords. This makes their job much harder, but not impossible. Since hashes can't be reversed, hackers try to guess possible passwords, hash them, and see if any of their guesses produce a hash that matches one in the stolen database. This is called a brute force attack. Tools like HashCat automate this process, allowing hackers to make millions of guesses every second, rapidly checking for matches between guessed password hashes and the stolen ones. If a guessed password's hash matches one in the database, the hacker knows they've cracked that password. This is why weak or common passwords are so risky. They're much easier to guess and hash. That's why it's so important to use strong, unique passwords for every account. The stronger your password, the harder it is for hackers to guess and crack your hash, keeping your accounts and information much safer. Let's get hands-on with HashCat in Kali. If you're new to password cracking or ethical hacking, this is a great place to start. HashCat is one of the most powerful tools for recovering lost passwords or testing password security, and Kali Linux comes with it pre-installed, making your first run straightforward. Imagine you're hired to test a company's security. Your job is to find out if their passwords are strong enough to withstand a real-world attack. This is a common scenario for penetration testers and security professionals. They give you a file with a single MD5 hash. Your goal: crack it. MD5 is an older hashing algorithm, and while it's not recommended for secure applications anymore, it's still found in legacy systems. First, open the terminal in Kali. The terminal is your command center for all things hacking and security testing. Save the hash to a file. This makes it easy for HashCat to read and process. You can use a simple echo command to write the hash into a text file, like myhashes.txt. Keeping your hashes organized is important, especially when working with multiple targets. Next, grab a password list, like the famous rockyou.ext, which comes with Kali. This file is packed with millions of real passwords that have been leaked in past breaches. Using a good password list is crucial, because HashCat will try each password in the list against your hash. Now assemble your command. You'll tell HashCat which hash file to use, which password list to try, and what type of hash you're attacking. The basic command looks like this: HashCat M0 A0 myhashes txt rockyou txt. M0 means MD5. A0 is a dictionary attack. Hit enter and watch the magic happen. HashCat fires up your GPU, hashes every password in the list, and compares them to your target. This process is incredibly fast, especially with a good graphics card. You'll see progress updates in the terminal, showing how many passwords have been tried and how much time remains. In seconds, it finds a match: password cracked. The cracked password will appear right in your terminal output. This is how quickly weak passwords can fall. If the password is common or simple, it's no match for HashCat and a solid word list. With the right tools, even a beginner can break simple security. That's why learning these basics is so important for anyone interested in cybersecurity. That's why password strength is critical. Always use long, complex, and unique passwords to protect your accounts. Let's break down what just happened. You've just seen how a simple hash can be cracked in moments, and why strong passwords are your first line of defense. Let's decode that HashCat command. HashCat uses flags to set its options, sets the hash type, MD5, NTLM, WPA2, and more. Sets the attack mode dictionary, brute force, or hybrid. You specify the hash file and the word list or mask. For example, is brute force, trying every possible combination. You can add to save cracked passwords to a file. Choosing the right flags is key to effective cracking. Mastering these basics turns you from a beginner into a pro. The right command makes all the difference. Why do hackers succeed? Because people are predictable. Most attacks start with massive password lists like full of real, common passwords. 123456. Password, QWERTY, these fall instantly. Even password 123 isn't safe. It's a common pattern. Hackers use rules-based attacks to try endless variations. Capital letters, numbers, symbols, years. Your clever tweak is probably in the first million guesses. Human brains love patterns. Machines exploit that. Even long passwords can be weak if they're just 2 words and a number. True strength comes from unpredictability. So, how do you build unbreakable passwords? Length is your friend. Every extra character makes cracking exponentially harder. Use passphrases, random memorable sentences like correct horse battery staple. Avoid patterns and dictionary words. The best passwords are long, random mixes of letters, numbers, and symbols. But don't try to remember them all. Use a password manager. A password manager generates and stores unique, strong passwords for every site. You only need to remember one master password, and always enable multi-factor authentication, MFA. MFA adds a second lock, like a code from your phone, making your accounts nearly unbreakable. This single step blocks most attacks. Layer your defenses for true security. Here's the takeaway. Password cracking isn't magic, it's methodical, and the tools are powerful. Kali Linux and HashCat make it easy to test or break weak passwords. Hashes protect your passwords, but only if your password is strong. We cracked a simple hash in seconds. Imagine what hackers can do with time and better hardware. The old tricks, adding a number or symbol, aren't enough. Use long, random, unique passwords and a password manager. Enable MFA everywhere. Stay safe out there.